71-year-old man died in his sleep. 4 bedtime habits you must avoid after 70. Hello, my dear friends. I'm so glad you're here with me today. My name is Margaret, and I'm 90 years young. Can you believe it? I've lived through a lot in my 9 decades, and I've learned a thing or two about what keeps us going strong, especially as we get older. I love sharing what I've learned with folks like you. People in your 50s, 60s, and 70s who want to live healthier, happier, and longer. So, pull up a chair, maybe grab a cup of coffee, and let's have a little chat. Just you and me. I heard a story recently that really got me thinking, and I knew I had to talk to you about it. It's about a 71-year-old man, sweet man from what I heard, who loved his family and still enjoyed his daily walks. But one morning he didn't wake up. He passed away in his sleep, with no warning, no big health problems anyone knew about. It broke my heart when I heard about it from a friend of a friend, but it also made me wonder, what happened? Could there have been something he was doing that put him at risk? And more importantly, what can we do to make sure we're taking care of ourselves? Now, I'm not here to scare you, sweetheart. I'm here because I've been where you are, and I want to help you avoid some of the mistakes I've seen, or even made myself, over the years. After thinking about this man's story and looking back on my own life, I realized there are some bedtime habits that can quietly cause trouble after 70. They're not things you think twice about, but they can make a big difference in how you feel, and how long you're around to enjoy your grandkids, your hobbies, or that morning sunrise. So, today, I want to share 4 bedtime habits you should steer clear of once you hit 70, or even before, if you want to get a head start. I'll tell you why they're risky, what might have happened with this man, and what I've learned from my own long life. Let's get started, because I want you to wake up every day feeling your best. All right, let's get into these 4 bedtime habits. I've seen a lot in my 90 years, friends, family, neighbors, and I've noticed how the little things we do every day can add up, especially as we get older. I'll share what I know, what I've heard about the 71-year-old man, and some stories from my own life to help you understand why this matters. We'll take it slow, one habit at a time, so you can really think about what might work for you. Habit number 1, eating a big supper right before bed. The first habit I want to talk about is eating a big meal right before you go to bed. Oh, I know how tempting it can be. Back in my 70s, I loved a good hearty supper, maybe some meatloaf or a big bowl of stew. And sometimes I'd eat late because I'd been out playing cards with my friends. For the man in our story, I heard he was the same way. His wife told folks he'd often sit down at 9 p.m. with a plate piled high, think fried chicken, cornbread, the works, and then head to bed an hour later. It sounds cozy, doesn't it? But it's not as harmless as it seems. When you eat a big meal close to bedtime, your body doesn't get to rest the way it should. Instead of focusing on healing and recharging while you sleep, your stomach is still working hard to digest all that food. As we get older, past 70, especially, our digestion slows down. We don't break things down as quickly, and that can lead to trouble like heartburn or acid reflux. Worse, it can even cause something called aspiration, where little bits of food get into your lungs while you're sleeping. That can lead to infections or breathing problems, and you might not even know it's happening. I remember my dear friend Clara, who passed a few years back. She was 73, and she loved her late-night snacks, usually a big slice of pie with ice cream. But she started waking up with a cough, and she felt so tired all the time. Her doctor figured out it was because of those late meals. Once she started eating earlier, she felt so much better. I wish this man had known that, too. It might have made a difference. What you can do instead. If you're hungry at night, have something light, like a few crackers or a piece of fruit. Try to finish your last meal at least 2 or 3 hours before bed. It's a small change, but it'll help your body rest better. Habit number 2, having a drink to help you sleep. The second habit I've seen a lot of folks fall into is having a drink to help them sleep. Maybe it's a glass of wine or a little shot of something stronger. I'll admit, I used to do this myself back in my 60s. A glass of sherry after dinner felt so relaxing. For the 71-year-old man, I heard he loved his evening whiskey. His family said it was his ritual. He'd pour a small glass, sit in his recliner, and sip while listening to the radio. But here's the thing. Alcohol might make you feel sleepy at first, but it's not doing you any favors. After 70, our bodies don't handle alcohol the way they used to. It stays in our system longer and it messes with our sleep. You might drift off quickly, but you're not getting the deep, restful sleep your body needs to stay healthy. Alcohol also relaxes the muscles in your throat, which can make snoring worse, or even lead to something called sleep apnea, where you stop breathing for short moments during the night. That puts a lot of stress on your heart, and over time, it can really take a toll. This man's family mentioned he snored a lot, and I can't help but wonder if that whiskey played a role. My nephew, Tom, went through this a few years ago. He was 68 at the time. He'd have a beer every night to wind down, but he started waking up feeling awful with headaches and no energy. His doctor told him to cut out the beer, and within a month, he was sleeping better and feeling so much more like himself. It's worth thinking about, isn't it? What you can do instead. If you like a little something to relax, try a cup of herbal tea. Chamomile is my favorite. It's warm, it's soothing, and it won't keep you from getting the good sleep you need. Habit number 3, staying up late with your TV or phone. Now, let's talk about the third habit, staying up late with your TV, phone, or tablet. I know how easy it is to get caught up in a good show or to scroll through pictures of your grandkids on your phone. I got a smartphone a few years ago, and I'll admit I've lost track of time more than once. For the man in our story, his family said he'd often stay up past midnight watching old Western movies. He loved John Wayne, and I can't blame him for that. But staying up late with screens can cause more trouble than you might think. Those screens give off a kind of light, blue light they call it, that tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. It stops your body from making melatonin, which is what helps you feel sleepy. After 70, we already make less melatonin, so we don't need anything making it harder to fall asleep. Plus, if you're staying up late, you're not getting enough hours of sleep. You need 7 or 8 hours a night, but if you're only getting 5 or 6, you're going to feel it. Lack of sleep can raise your blood pressure, make you feel foggy, and even put extra strain on your heart. I learned this the hard way myself. In my late 70s, I started watching TV in bed. Those late-night game shows were so much fun, but I noticed I was feeling tired and cranky during the day, and I couldn't figure out why. My daughter suggested I turn off the TV earlier and read a book instead. I started doing that, and oh my goodness, what a difference. I felt so much better, and I was sleeping like a baby again. What you can do instead. Try to put the screens away at least an hour before bed. Maybe listen to some soft music or read a book. I love a good mystery novel. It'll help you wind down and get the rest you need. Habit number 4, not thinking about how you sleep. The last habit I want to talk about is something most of us don't even think about. The way we sleep. How you position yourself in bed can make a big difference, especially after 70. For the 71-year-old man, I heard he was a stomach sleeper. His wife said he'd always slept that way, with a couple pillows under his head. It might have felt comfortable to him, but it could have been putting his body under stress. When you sleep on your stomach, your neck has to twist to one side, and your spine isn't in a natural position. That can lead to aches and pains, especially if you've got arthritis like so many of us do. It can also make it harder to breathe because your chest is pressed down. If you sleep on your back, lying flat can sometimes make snoring worse, or even make sleep apnea more likely, because your airway can get blocked more easily. For this man, if he had sleep apnea and didn't know it, his sleep position might have made things harder for him. I had a neighbor, Frank, who was 72 when I met him. He always slept on his back, but he'd wake up feeling stiff and tired, and his wife said his snoring was so loud she could hear it from the next room. I suggested he try sleeping on his side with a pillow between his knees to keep his back straight. He grumbled about it at first. Frank was a stubborn one, but after a few weeks, he came over with a big smile and said, "Margaret, I haven't felt this good in years." His wife was happy, too. She could finally sleep in the same room again. What you can do instead. Take a look at how you're sleeping. Side sleeping is usually the best, but make sure your pillow keeps your neck in line with your spine. If you like sleeping on your back, try propping your head up a little with an extra pillow. It might take some getting used to, but it's worth it. Well, my dear, We had quite a chat today, haven't we? We talked about 4 bedtime habits to watch out for after 70. Eating big meals late, having a drink to help you sleep, staying up with screens, and not thinking about your sleep position. These might seem like little things, but I've learned over my 90 years that the little things can make the biggest difference. When I think about that 71-year-old man, I feel a pang of sadness, but I also feel grateful. His story reminds me how important it is to take care of ourselves, and I'm so glad I can share what I've learned with you. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just start with one small step. Maybe tonight, you'll skip that late snack or turn off the TV a bit earlier. I know you can do it, and I'm rooting for you. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's your bedtime routine like? Have you tried any of these tips? Or do you have some wisdom of your own to share? Let's keep learning from each other, because that's what life's all about. If you found this helpful, give a thumbs up and share it with someone you love. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll be back with more stories and advice to help you live your best life. Until next time, take care of yourself, sweetheart. You got so many wonderful years ahead, and I want you to enjoy every single one. Sleep well, and I'll see you soon.